An email notification is an email automatically created by DocuWare and sent when a new document is stored or when index data is changed. The system checks if a stored or changed document includes predefined index terms. For example, email notifications about the changed status of a document are sent when a document is stored with a specific subject or when a specific person accesses the document. Email notifications help simplify your workflows and speed up your daily office work. Let's look at some examples. Example 1. Within the scope of a company's approval process, the cost center manager in charge must approve all incoming invoices. When an invoice is stored in DocuWare, the cost center manager receives an email informing him that an approved new invoice needs to be reviewed. The email notification includes a hyperlink to the invoice. When clicking this hyperlink, the invoice opens in the browser and the cost center manager can approve or reject the invoice by applying a digital stamp. If the cost center manager doesn't want to receive a notification for every single invoice, the scheduling settings can be changed so that only one email is sent per day, for example. This email contains several links, meaning one for each invoice. If the cost center manager prefers using task lists, the email can be set up to contain a link to a task list instead. Example 2. The head of a project team has stored a project plan in DocuWare. He would like to receive a notification every time one of his employees changes the document. This means that the project team manager would receive an email notification when the employee has finished editing the document. Example 3. The purchasing department has ordered office furniture on behalf of the administration. When the goods arrive, the head of the purchasing department automatically receives an email with a link to the archived delivery note. Now he knows that the delivery has arrived, and he can open the delivery note in the DocuWare viewer and compare it to the order. Email notifications can be set up for any kind of document. The possibilities are endless. Notifications can be sent when an invoice is changed, a new product specification version is available, your current payslip is stored, your company's lunch menu changes, your superior has stored an email with the subject "funny video." To create an email notification, start the web client and go to the web client settings under My DocuWare. Here, you can configure email notifications or change existing notification configurations. Enter a name for the notification and indicate for which file cabinet the notification is to be set up. Notifications will be sent for documents stored in this file cabinet only. To better distinguish between the different notifications later, we recommend entering a short description at this point. Next, under Trigger Condition, choose for which documents the email notification will be sent. First, you need to decide if an email will be sent when a new document is stored or when index terms in an archive document are changed. To start, we will look at the first scenario, the generation of an email notification when a new document is stored, for example, the invoice from Example 1. Remember, the employee will receive an email when an invoice is archived if he is the cost center manager. The employee is the manager for cost center 21,000. So, we select Document Type equals Invoice and Cost Center equals 21,000. An email is sent if both these conditions are met when a new document is stored. Alternatively, an email notification can be sent when a document's indexing data is changed. In this case, you need to indicate the following: the index terms that the document must include prior to the change, and the index terms that the document must include after the index change. When changing an index, a background service checks whether the changed document has the defined attributes. We will take Peter Sanders, our project manager, as an example. He would like to receive an email notification when one of his colleagues changes his project plan. In this case, the following condition must be met prior to the index change. Document type equals project plan. The condition after the change is as follows: not changed by Peter Sanders. In the following examples, we demonstrate the impact of the selected conditions again. A cost center manager wants to have control of all open invoices linked to his cost center. He would like to receive a notification if an invoice for his cost center undergoes any changes. Mr. Ford receives an email if any index field in an open invoice related to his cost center is modified. Such notifications are generated until the invoice is no longer open. Once the invoice is closed, one of the conditions is no longer met and no more emails are generated. In comparison, let's examine the following example. Mr. Ford receives an email notification every time an invoice is marked with Cost Center 21,000 and when the status is open after the index has been changed. If status closed is set for the invoice, or if the cost center is modified, Mr. Ford receives no more email notifications. Please note that you don't need to indicate which index term changes in order to send a notification. You just need to establish the criteria that the document must meet prior to and after the modification in order to send a notification. Now, let's proceed with our original configuration. In this next step, you determine the appearance of the email subject and body text. The email either contains a link to the changed document or a link to a task list. Instead of indicating the document's URL, you can decide to show one of the document's index fields, for example, company. Use owners and subscribers to determine the options for editing and using the email notification. Owners are entitled to change and delete email notifications. Subscribers automatically receive the generated email notification. Any employee defined as a subscriber finds all email notifications he is subscribed to in the web client settings. With the option Allow Additional Subscribers, you can decide if other employees are allowed to subscribe to or unsubscribe from the email notification in their web client settings. To set up a dynamic subscriber, you can select a DocuWare index field with a username as the content. For example, if the file cabinet applies the Next User index field for invoice approval, and if this field needs to be modified with a stamp in every step of the approval process, the next user in the approval process receives an email notification. To finish, you indicate under Scheduling when the email notification will be sent, either directly after changing the document or at specific intervals. The configuration is now complete, and all authorized users can receive the email notification. Before an email notification can be sent, the DocuWare administrator needs to verify some settings. You will find them in the following checklist. The web client server is installed. The notification server is installed and configured. A configured SMTP connection is set up. A DocuWare Task Manager license is available. The Task Manager license enables you to use email notifications and task lists, showing you all documents in the web client that meet specific index criteria. Be careful not to confuse the Task Manager with the Content folder. The Content folder license allows you to use the Content folder and the web client's task list function, but not email notifications. Email notifications help you automate and accelerate various corporate workflows. Together with the task list function, you have two powerful functions on hand that facilitate your everyday office routine.